Alright then.
So how much experience should I have to spend in total? It should be the 950 plus the 500 we had to start with. Is that right?
Which is basically the initial experience that you started on. Uh, the 500 experience to spend at the start got you to 5,000, so
Yeah.
you should be on 5,950 total, of
Yeah.
which you, from what I've calculated, you should have spent
About
900 of
14,
that.
900.
No, oh yeah, so you
1400, shouldn't it be? I've in total spent.
yeah, that's correct.
So I'm missing about 300.
Uh, um, I honestly don't know. We'll have to look into that later. Just for the point of reference to the audience, because this is now recording, um, Roll20 has decided to update all its character sheets, so we spent basically the last 20 minutes or so fixing it all up.
It stole
But
stats from us.
yeah, it stole stats. In other sort of housekeeping news, I've spoken with Faction, so our lovely Tau, who was quite handy in terms of potentially throwing a plasma grade at the Tech Priest and being initiating the whole captured by the Planetary Defense Force. He's decided to bow out of this campaign, and so we are now down to one Tau Fire Warrior. Potentially watch this space. We're probably going to get another character, another player in the future. That's still to be decided though. Potentially, maybe not. Who knows? We'll wait and see. In any case, back into the realm of story. You guys are fairly battered and bruised and burnt, and you're not feeling particularly good about the whole fight with the Gretchen, considering that they're Gretchen. And yeah, um, the good news is after you sort of like drag yourselves back out of the engine room where you were in, and the fact that you've now disabled the engine, so it's no longer running, and it can actually has a chance to cool down because from what you could see of the engine, it's basically Orcish tech, so it's not exactly the most stable of technology in existence. And from what you could see of it, it looked as though it was powered by Promethium of a curious Orc blend, which let's just say it's a good thing that that Techie, you weren't closer to the engine, otherwise things might have gone even worse.
Great to hear.
The good news is you've cleared out the engine room, and the sheer noise and cacophony that erupted throughout the interior of the ship during your fight. You're pretty certain that if there's anything still in the ship, any sort of Gretchen or Snotlings or any cowardly orcs or things like that, they're probably very far. They're hiding in a deep dark corner, or they're not there. Like, you do know that from your fight outside the ship, your initial fight outside the ship, there is the whole. You do know that there are a few orcs currently uh, lying in a bloody mess because they had fallen unconscious, but then you brutally murdered them in their sort of melee gang infused sleep. But some of them did run away from you after suffering from the tyranny of Karnas Reaper missiles. So basically, while you guys sort of pull yourselves together and make your way back outside the ship, you signal off to the other sort of engineers and things that were waiting for you guys to clear out the interior. They they were in the process of setting up their drill, setting up their equipment and things like that. And basically, now that you've done that, you've sort of cleared the interior, you've located the power source that they were sent to retrieve. They're basically going to try and sort of take out the ship as best they can. It's going to take them about 2 hours to do to sort of dismantle it and get the energy source back out onto the truck. But that gives you guys a good opportunity to have a quick breather and sort of rest up a little bit. So while you're here, Doraleus, you've sort of recovered from the fact that you were in the middle of a bit of a conflagration during that. Your servo skull is still with you, being patient and attentive while you briefly snoozed due to the fact that you were rendered unconscious from all that serious fire. Uh, yeah, I suppose the question is, while the engineers and mechanics and things are dismantling the orcish basically power source, power cell, is there anything you guys would particularly like to do here? Because basically, if you don't want to do anything, we can skip straight back to the drive back into Hive Nadir.
Sooner I can recover from my wounds, the better, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't really be doing anything at this point, as I'm going to be visibly shaken up from almost dying from the fire. So I'm not really doing much.
Oh, God.
All right then. So yeah, it takes the engineers about a couple hours to sort of secure the orcish power cell. It's like they're doing it more with speed in mind rather than caution, because basically they are literally taking las cutters to the various sort of bits of wreckage in the way, and they're basically trying to clear a path through the corridor that you guys came out of, because there was various metal panels and things that have fallen from the roof. They're basically very methodically, very sort of bulldozing their way through to clear a path before literally cutting out this power cell and transporting it onto basically a little trolley that they wheel out and pack onto their truck. So fortunately, the journey back to Hive Nadir is uneventful. So there are no ambushes or anything like that. There's nothing really sort of dangerous on the way back. I'm assuming some of you are having a bit of a breather to sort of just a bit of a snooze, because the truck ride, once you sort of, as the truck's sort of pulling into Hive Nadir, it's now definitely twilight on this moon. This moon of Taruta, basically, it's imagined as though the moon's pretty much in all semi-perpetual summer almost. So the sun doesn't really set until local time around about 7:30 at night, and then the sun doesn't really, like, the location of this planet and the moon that you're currently on within this specific system. You're located in the inner ring, so basically, to put it in perspective, the solar system where we reside in reality, you're basically sitting. This moon is located pretty much where Venus is, so it's always pretty darn hot. So I guess as the trucks sort of pull into Hive Nadir, they pretty much make a beeline straight for the garages and warehouses of the small merchant lord that you spoke to and who requested your assistance in this matter. Funnily enough, he's actually there to welcome you all back. So even though it's sort of tending later into the evening, he's actually there welcoming you all back, and he's giving you all like hearty sort of hurrahs and pats on the backs and things like that.
I yell out when he pats me on the back because it hurts.
So, like, the moment you do that, he's just like, "Oh gosh, what the hell did you guys encounter?"
Fire. Lots and lots of fire.
You care to be a bit more specific, lad? I know you're a tech priest and all, but, I thought you were more technically minded than that.
Well, lots of orcs. Gretchen. Well, it may have been Gretchen. I couldn't tell for sure. It was pitch black at the time.
You mentioned the fact that you're assaulted by greenskins, and he kind of he pauses for a second and sort of like strokes his chin. He's just like, that's going to be complicated. Right. All right. Don't you worry about that. Tell you what. You're all gonna be okay. I can spruce you guys up and give you access to a private medical facility. Stay there as long as you want. Honestly, yeah, it's my gift to you. You've done me a great service and obviously paid quite dearly for it. So I'm very sorry about that. So yeah, on the house. Here, I'll track down that road there. And he points down the main road. Hook three rights until you get into the small medical district, and just say that you're coming on behalf of my house.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's. I did suppose. Do you guys want to do anything before you head to the sort of private med center, or did you just want to go there?
I want to ask him, why is it complicated?
Well, that's I don't suppose you've been here too long to know of the good war boss.
No.
Well, let's just say that there's just a particularly troublesome orc on this moon. He's a freelooter, you see. He goes by the name of Kraldrag. He's quite he's testy, as most orcs are.
And he's responsible for us being attacked.
If you guys had fought orcs, it was it was most likely his boys. I mean, where did they come out of? Like you found the power source. What was it? An abandoned sort of hab center, or was it some sort of like crashed vehicle or something?
A crashed spaceship.
He kind of just does the whole sort of like hub. Right. Okay, I'll need to engage the back channels to get rid of this, because this power source is now hot. I need to get rid of it as fast as I can. The moment Kroldrag finds out that someone basically scrapped his own ship, he's not going to be happy.
And where does he live?
You want to know where the biggest, baddest orc on this moon is?
Yep.
Okay, maybe forgive me for judging, but considering you are quite esteemed and wizened in these matters, but
Stop licking my boots and spit it out.
the only reason the orcs have agreed to play ball and not try and kill everything in sight is because we have something this planet has something they need.
And what would that be?
You've obviously encountered pirates and raiders and corsairs. What's better than a place where they are freely able to come and go?
Burning that place to the ground?
Out of respect for our family's relationship going back centuries, I would advise you not to antagonize the orcs. It is not good business. It is also not good for your health.
I'll take your advice into consideration, but they don't scare me.
Could I please get a tell me, what social skills do you have? Like any form? Actually, do you have scrutiny?
Untrained.
Do a scrutiny check for me.
Oh dear God, no.
I'm surprised you don't have it trained. Oh my god! That's a 98-year-old just then. Oh my god, minus 8.1 degrees. It's success.
Okay
I will
then.
believe anything you say.
So basically, like you've just gone, the orcs don't scare me, but the way just this guy is the trade lord Ulexor. Uh, he's fearful of the orcs, for good reason because an orc is not someone you want to ever piss off. Except you're kind of like you've sort of like considered his, and he's just like, man, you must be the most whiniest, dumbest human ever. You're not like in terms of how you're sort of looking, like how you're perceiving his sort of telling you of don't mess with this orc. You've just gone, she'll be right.
I think I'll just have to run with that. That was just the worst roll on the worst skill. For the record, yeah, my skill on that is 17.
You might want to work on that scrutiny, mate.
That was
You're gonna keep that up.
I'm not gonna lie. That was I wasn't expecting 8 degrees of failure. Okay then. Considering that little sort of exchange of information has occurred, would anyone else like to do anything, or would you all like to head straight for the med center and rest up? I know 2 of you are particularly wounded. Did Amarak, you suffer any particular damage?
Just 1 point of damage or 1 wound.
1 point of damage. Kana, did you suffer
Wait.
any?
What did I
I
miss?
don't think
Sorry,
he did.
We're just sort of basically what happened was Amarak was trying to he was just trying to wave off, be like, I'm not scared of orcs, and then I had him roll a scrutiny test to
Yeah, I got to that
scrutinize
point
how.
where he failed miserably.
Minus 8.1.
I didn't know it went that low.
You can.
You can. So the you now have as a choice as a group. The trade lord Alexor is giving you free access to a med center to rest up and heal your wounds for however long you would like. However, basically, he has no. This is like his compensation for you going out and acquiring this, and it's likely that he's going to be a good source of information, source of goods or something that whatever you would like to do in the immediate future. But however, he's not going to sort of overstep his bounds and be like, hey, come and do this job for me or else. He will provide you
I'm
like
happy whatever.
goods. Yeah, so
I have no wound, so I don't need to.
Yeah, rub it in.
In that case, for those who have wounds, how long would you like to spend resting?
As
How
long
long
as I'm
can
allowed
we
to.
spend resting?
I'm going to be out for over a month to get all my wounds gone.
That's the thing, yeah. Considering the sheer number of critical damage that you suffered, and also Vaithral, you suffered a bit of critical damage as well. It does take quite a long time to heal critical damage.
It's 1 crit damage per week, if I remember correctly.
Holy
Yes.
shit.
Well, that's just if normal. I'm not sure. I think that doubles if you're in medical care the entire time.
Yeah, if you're in medical care, basically, it's going to heal more quickly, and it's basically going to be a situation of can speed the recovery. So yeah, basically, what will be required if you spend an entire week resting up and healing? I will do an intelligence-based check for the med staff, and you can also do a toughness-based test to determine how quickly you heal. For both of these, while you're there, your wounds are going to heal up at a rate. So if you suffer critical damage and if you suffer normal damage to your wounds, both of these will heal concurrently. So obviously, crit damage takes longer to heal, whereas wound damage is faster, but it still takes time. For Karnath and Amarak, because you both took a fairly minor amount of damage, so only a few points, you're going to be able to heal that basically within 1 or 2 days worth of like just normal sleeping. Whereas the other two will need to spend basically semi-intensive care.
Yeah,
I don't think
my,
I've even
my
taken
wounds
a
will.
single wound.
Yeah, my wounds will come back up pretty quickly since I got auto sanguine. Well, so the whole when applying healing, I'm guessing that counts as when in medical care.
Yep.
So therefore, I heal 2 wounds per day instead of 1.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's
But my
good.
critical damage is going to be the same, but
So it's 1 wound recovered per day in medical care?
no.
No, so basically if you're lightly wounded, which means you've taken damage less than twice your toughness bonus, you're going to heal at a rate of 1 wound per day. If you're heavily damaged, which means you've taken damage in excess of double your
You're
toughness
heavily
bonus.
knob.
So if you're heavily damaged, you heal without medical attention, you heal at a rate of 1 point per week. But that's normally. And then crit damage heals on a separate track as well.
Cool. So I basically just need to rest for a day to recover my 1 wound. So what I was thinking is we should really, at the least, recover fate points and try to get Techie and Nob to heal up as much as possible. So, I was going to say, can Freeze and I see if we can't find out anything about, basically, intel gather how we figured out how we ended up on this planet, if we've had anyone else turn up here on either side of the conflict, any of that stuff?
Sure. So just before we do that, basically, in order to recover fate points, your fate points recover. All of your fate points recover and are available for you to spend after an 8-hour rest. So basically, you guys can all go to sleep tonight.
Well, could that...
And,
Does that mean they could have a night's rest and then use all their fate points to heal up properly and then have another night's rest, or can you not use it for critical wounds?
I don't think
it cannot remove critical wounds.
Okay, so it's probably still the same amount of time then.
So basically, in order to heal critical wounds, they will have to spend at least 1 week within extended care.
Yeah, righto.
Well, for me, it's basically going to be like 3 weeks minimum.
I mean, that's the thing. You can still move and do stuff without, while still you can still do stuff while still carrying critical damage. It's just that depending on your toughness roll and my Medicaid roll as I'm rolling for the med staff, it could heal you faster because you're currently on 6 and Vathral's combined total is on 3. Correct?
Yeah.
Yep, 3 combined critical
Okay,
damage.
so toughness test from us then.
Yes.
No modifiers?
No modifiers. This is just to see how well your body reacts to healing.
Not well. I got a 98.
Oh my god. We're going to start this terrible rolling again, are we?
I
get
started
more
with a
injured.
minus 8.1.
Okay,
You
then.
take damage. Well, I take damage with my roll. Fuck.
So, while your natural sort of body's reaction to healing isn't particularly terrible, also the fact that the med center staff are almost entirely human, with maybe a few sort of medical assistant servitors there. So they're assisting with that. Obviously, healing you, Vaithral, as an elder, they're not having the best time, so they actually can't really heal you very
Damn
effectively.
humans. The Gretchen were more gentle than you are.
Wow.
Oh, snap.
Okay. So,
They accidentally kill you in your sleep.
How'd that scalpel get at his throat?
So because you've got auto sanguine, Duralius, you've got you heal at a rate of 2 per day. So what's your total wounds?
0 right now.
I mean,
My
like
total
what's your
wounds got
max?
9.
So
My max
yeah,
is 9.
over the week you'll reach your maximum again because
Mhm.
you heal fast and you automatically count as if you're lightly wounded.
Awesome. Yep.
Do you have auto sanguine, Vaithral?
No.
No.
I think auto sanguine's specific to Cult Mechanicus guys.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't see that on.
Because
the-
they got,
apologies.
it's pretty much just, they're like micro machines to repair you.
Yeah. So
like the
Vaithral,
cars. That's rad.
Vaithral, you spent the entire week healing. So if you over the course of that week, you can spend your fate points to sort of heal up to your maximum wounds. But at a bare minimum, you'll heal an amount of damage equal to your toughness bonus.
Okay, so I have 3 bonus for my toughness.
So
So
you're
is that
on.
that heals 3 critical? Does it?
No, that will heal 3 ordinary.
Okay. So I have 4 hit points.
Yeah,
so
you'll
I can use my fate points to roll to heal as well.
yeah. So basically, because you're doing that, your fate points, nothing's going to attack you over the course of this week. So you're pretty safe in the knowledge that you can spend your fate points to sort of get your wounds back up to your maximum wounds.
Oh, okay, so it'll just be automatic, will it? Then I'll go up to
Yeah.
max.
And in terms of your critical damage, you heal 1 point of critical damage. So you can allocate that however you want. So you can heal it from your head or from your torso.
Okay, so what about me in terms of the critical damage?
Okay then. So the thing is, they succeeded in terms of treating you because you're a human. They weren't successful in giving like an additional bonus to healing Faithful because of his Xenos heritage.
Mm-hmm.
So the good news is, you heal 1 point, but basically, you heal 1 point of critical damage. But because they succeeded, you can remove double that. So you can remove 2, plus they also scored a degree of success, so you heal 3.
Oh, cool.
So you're currently
Halfway
running
there.
around with 3 total critical to your torso. And Vaithral, which part of your body are you moving that critical damage from?
Sorry, critical damage from my head. I assume
Okay,
getting rid
so-
of critical damage is better than lowering it in other places.
Oh, it just depends. Basically, the moment your wound total drops down to 0, that's when you take critical damage. So wherever you start carrying damage, that's if you have existing critical damage on your body, you can. It's going to basically affect that and add on to what's already there.
Yeah.
Alright, so while that's happening over the course of that week, Tech Priest and our Striking Scorpion are in the middle of sort of recovering from the fact that one was set on fire, the other one was basically had an orc chopper, brutalize one of his arms, and then he got shot in the head by a Gretchen.
Still funny.
Yeah.
So, Karnath and Amarak, during this week, you guys pretty much can do whatever you want. So, did you want to specifically start off like maybe the first 2 days, sort of trying to gather information?
Yeah, at the least, it seems like a good idea to make sure we weren't followed by the wrong side, and then kind of look around and see on the off chance we were followed by the right side.
I would like to ask, have we got any actual money or?
So basically, because you're now you're on the good side of this trade lord Alexor. If you go to him and basically request him, request goods from him in particular, like goods, weapons, ammunition, things like that, he can acquire it for you. And for the most part, if it's something common or rudimentary, he's got a good chance of doing it. Anything rarer, it's unlikely. Basically, what's happening is that from a rules perspective, you're going to be rolling based on his profit factor score, which is currently a little bit low because he's still a relatively minor trade lord on this out-of-the-way planet. But because you guys effectively acquired him a new asset to go and sell, so the power source, that's increased his profit factor. So you're going to be trying to roll under a profit factor of 27.
So what's that mean, trying to get some more rifle launcher ammo? Because I've already burned through an entire clip.
That's what I was going to say.
Well, basically, you're trying to search for Eldar ammunition on a planet which doesn't really see any Craftworld Eldar ever. So, you can attempt to. It's not going to be it's not going to be easy, and he probably might not even be able to get it at all. But
I'd like to attempt to, I think.
Well, if there was an old Eldar weapon, there's the off chance there's an old case around or something.
it's a shuriken cannon's a little bit different to a Dark Reaper missile launcher.
All I can do is ask.
That is true. So, I
With
suppose.
a gun in his face.
Don't do that.
Here we go again.
I like
So-
when the GM tells you not to do something. Don't do that.
Okay, so to
missed
start
that.
off, roll a 1d100, and then I can tell you, like, if it's successful.
I don't get the feeling you're threatening someone.
No, I'm joking about the gun in his face.
Oh, God.
25.
That's not bad.
Depends on what it's for.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're only trying to get it for one person, so that's pretty good. Basically, you're asking for something due to the circumstances. This asking for this sort of specific item is almost like a 1 in 10 million chance. He's going to attempt to work his back channels to see what he can get for you, but it's going to take him at least, like, by the time the other two finish, like, with their week of healing, he might have something for you. He might not. He can't say for certain at this stage. Like, there might be some sort of Xeno weaponry dealers that might have something, but you're asking something rather unusual.
What ammo do the shuriken weapons use? I don't remember.
It's basically for the shuriken weapons. The way I'm doing it, sort of for in-gameplay purposes, because you're basically using its very sort of psychically reactive Wraithbone crystal that's used in the ammunition. If you can regenerate that, you as all three of you as Eldar can regenerate that sort of Wraithbone crystal for as shuriken ammunition, but in order to do that, it requires you to basically spend a number of hours to sort of regenerate enough crystal to refill a clip. So for you guys in particular, that will in fact be either a tech use or a Cynician's test to sort of regenerate enough crystal to fill a clip of ammunition for a respective shuriken weapon.
Can you get multiple clips ready?
You can if you want to, like, just spend, like, set aside part of a day to do that.
I was just thinking, with all this time available while those guys heal, I want to get stuff done, but not so I'm sitting here playing the game by myself for the next hour. So I was just thinking, at the least, if Freeze needs an extra weapon that isn't his pistol, he can have the catapult, but I was just wondering who'd be the best at reloading it. Probably me, if I can do the word I never ever can pronounce. Cynicians?
Cynicians.
Cynicians? Oh, crap. Yep, okay, I've got to fix those skills. Suddenly they're all
What's that?
strength-based.
Yeah, that's what I meant. They need to be fixed up.
Yeah. I was going to say it's suddenly 35. That's less than ideal. So, yeah, Freeze, feel free to do stuff while I fix this, so then I'll organise to try to make some clips and things. Spare's probably a good idea.
Sounds like a plan.
Alright then. So while you're busy sort of getting that prepared, Freeze, you basically gone up to the trade lord and he says he might, like, his, heavy disclaimer, he might be able to get something for you, but it's going to take either time, and even then it's not a guarantee. He honestly doesn't know if he'd be able to get this for you.
Well, we've got a month.
Well, that's the thing, like, it depends on how long the other two want to spend sort of resting up, so, like, they might want to go out and do stuff, or they might want to just heal up until their maximum. It's honestly up to you guys as a group to decide. Do you want to like start doing stuff past this week, or did you want to like spend this week just healing and then heal some more?
So, will critical damage only heal while we're resting?
You do need to spend an entire week resting. I saw like week of just bed rest.
Considering how horribly wrong some of our experiences went, maybe we should focus on the healing and then go from there.
Well, we need to wait for Teki to heal.
I probably only need just 1 extra week at this rate, or 2.
Yeah, for you, Vaithral, depending on like if the med center staff can heal you or not, it's up in the air in terms of like if it would take you 1 more week or 2. They're not equipped to deal with Eldar. But in the meantime, what would Karnath and Amarak like to do?
I'm
Find a
going
way
to
off the
make
rock.
MO. Yeah, that too, actually. Other than information gathering for everything. I want to know everything.
Okay then, so I suppose what do you specifically want to search for first? Because basically, you can say you spend like the rest of the week gathering information, and that will give you a bonus because of simply the amount of time.
Yeah, I'd want to probably spend like pretty much half the time finding out if, or maybe a third of the time finding out if anyone or anything else has ended up here following a similar path that we did, or and the rest of it just looking into securing a way out of here. Because screw this place.
All right, and Karnath,
I've got to agree there.
Karnath, what would you like to do in particular?
I would like to assist Emirat in finding a way off this monkey-infested hellhole.
All right then. So, basically, say how many days you want to do, and that will give you a plus 10 per day. And because you're being assisted, that's an additional plus 10 from the assistance of Karnath.
Well, how many days do we actually have, and should we just use all of them in doing this, or is there other stuff we should get done?
Well, it depends on like if you want to spend like some days searching, going down one lead, or some days like asking about one thing in particular. So basically, it's like split up your sort of what you want to know first.
I'd say take it maybe 2 or 3 days to see what comes up, and then go from there.
Yeah, can we just find leads in terms of things turning up and ways off planet?
Sure.
And then,
All right then. So I suppose, how do you want to go about this? Do you want to just like go around asking people? Do you want to like take someone aside and sort of like menace them for information, or do you just want to try and speak to an authority figure and sort of gather information that way, or do you want to like eavesdrop on someone?
I could always use Delude. Allows the psycho to subtly mask his intentions and manipulate others into reacting favorably to him for a short time. Theoretically, using that, I could just ask people. Just basically say, hey, seen any Eldar lately? Haha.
I suppose
I know
you could.
no one speaks more about when they're drunk, so hanging around in a few bars in the corner just over listening to people.
Walk in with your head down.
Alright, so we'll do roll a 1d5 and subtract that from your psi rating to determine your degrees of success, because you can automatically do it. They might in turn resist your effects to like sort of cloud their judgment.
I'm not sure if this is in addition to the power, or if it's actually not technically a power use test of sorts. For as long as the Psycho maintains his power, he gains a plus 30 bonus to all interaction skill tests against the target. Do I still need to roll the power?
Oh, no. Okay, so yeah, you do the power. Yeah, so you do the power side of things. So as an Eldar, you have Eldritch Mastery, so you can just do it without failure. Could I please get a Cynician's test from you?
Oh yeah, so when I said it should be higher than it is, I switched it to Perception, which is what it's supposed to be, and it didn't change.
Okay then.
With
So,
no modifiers?
No modifiers.
Hooray!
Nice.
So, yeah, basically, you've done it successfully. But although it's with that Cynician's test, you like try to do sort of a semi, almost like sort of obscuring, clouding the person's mind or whoever you're speaking to. How with that Cynician's test, you're just like, the people here rather, they're actually kind of strong-minded in comparison to the orcs that you were dealing with before. They're not as easily misled, not even under the effects of your psychic abilities. So with that Cynician's test, you were actually able to determine that you've gone and done it, and they've actually managed to resist you.
Huh. Oh then.
At this stage, you don't this is just generally the population, the people you're speaking to don't seem to they seem to just be more strong-minded, strong-willed to resist your mental sort of manipulation. It doesn't seem to be anything in particular. It's just you can't seem to determine if it's there's a reason or they're just like that. Yeah.
In that case, pick a random guy I've tried it on, and I'm going to try to use Compel instead of Delude. Tell me the truth.
Okay then. I'll get another Cynician's test from you, please.
Crap. Oh god.
Oh no.
The roll's fixed. He convinces you to give him all your.
You can
Why
visit
don't
his-
you tell me about the Elder?
So the fortunate thing is you managed to happen across, even though generally the population and the people you were speaking to and trying it on, they were generally strong-willed to just general sort of deception, just people asking this is a bit of sort of a frontier, sort of Wild West kind of anything goes sort of Hive City and on this moon in particular, because I mean, hell, you've got humans cavorting with various Xenos, you've got Tau, you've got Kroot, you've got Orcs, you've got Gretchen, you've got Mechanicus running around their spire, you've got a whole bunch of things just going on here, there, and everywhere. Because you managed to single out one person in particular and be forcefully sort of take control of his mind, they've just, this one guy is just completely sort of reverts back and he will obey you in some sort of simple command, whatever you want to tell him. At the same time, though, it's not you've done that, except his change of behavior is so noticeable that people around him don't see it as well. He just, you've gone to him, you've asked him a few questions, you've tried to sort of subtly manipulate him, and he's just kind of waved you off and it's just nah, whatever. Don't know anything about Eldar, pansies, Corsair, whatever bullshit. And then you come back and done it again, and he's just oh, let me tell you all about the Eldar. And people just gone well, what the hell happened there?
Was I actually able to get any useful information out of him before I had to kind of skulk away?
Summarize one quick question, and he can give you information on that one quick question, because you've really got that 10 seconds before people start, really clocking to the fact that what the hell's going on with those two.
So basically, oh crap. I assume Fraser's still with me.
Yep.
Have you seen any Eldar other than me and this guy?
I don't know.
God
I
damn
don't
it.
know. It's you're literally asking about like a species that is known for being reclusive and not in the public eye.
Oh, I should have asked if he'd seen any armor like this. Oh well.
So that sort of attempt at sort of psychically manipulating and getting your answers that way, did you want to perhaps try a more traditional approach? Did Karnath, if you like to perhaps go,
Oh god, no.
Karnath, did you want to attempt your listening in on bar conversations and things like that?
Yes.
All right then. So you're sort of like subtly sort of like you found like a specific bar. You found what's a little bar that's called the Void Cat, the Void Cat Tavern, and what like in your while you're there, like people are giving you a wide berth because I mean you're still. I mean, considering you're a Dark Reaper, your armor is not exactly the most welcoming.
But the giant skull on the face isn't putting people at ease.
No. So the like people giving you a wide berth, but it does allow you to sort of like keen your senses and sort of really listen in. I suppose the question is, do you want to do an awareness check, or did you perhaps want to do just an inquiry to be like more subtly, like sort of like actually try and consort with people, like actually sort of try and speak their language, or did you just want to sit in your corner brooding and just listening in on conversations?
Well, since they don't like the big skull, maybe I better just try and listen in.
Yep. Are you also there as well, Amarak, after your attempts at psychic manipulation?
Yes. Although I'm tempted to use sensory deprivation and just be generally unnoticed by people by causing everyone to go blind.
I mean, you could if you want to, but I mean,
No, I'm still there. I'm just kind of like slinking back so people stop paying attention to me.
all right then. So, from like with you're going to have assistance from Amarak there in the Void Cat Tavern, and also you will have as an elder you have the heightened senses hearing talent. So you have a +10 to awareness checks there. So roll an awareness at a +20.
Ouch. That's
I suppose that's the
82.
question. How long do you want to like spend doing this? Because I mean, given enough time, you can get anything from anywhere. Like, did you want to like try and like a bunch of different taverns, or did you want to like do this one tavern over this one day?
I reckon a
We
bunch of
could
different
always
taverns.
we could split up. You'd lose one of the +10s, but we'd have two different people rolling for it in two different locations.
That's true.
Yeah, that might work better.
Alright. So, but like that first in that Void Cat Tavern, you can't really get too much information out of that specific location. It could simply be something the clientele are wrong. Like Void Cat seems to be a bit more, not quite genteel, but definitely more sort of labourer intensive group. So they're not like they're the people who work with machines and the VAT controls and things like that, and the Prometheum generators and things like that. Nothing particularly too genteel or civilized or anything. But if you want to spend like the next couple of days sort of combing out a few different locations, how many days would you like to spend doing that? Both you and Amarak.
How long have we got?
You spent about like that first day sort of like sort of going up to the trade lord, requesting that equipment and requesting some more Reaper missiles, and then going around doing like visiting that one tavern and going through Amarak's sort of psychic manipulation. That was about, for the majority of that, spent about like a day, a fairly fruitless day, trying to gather information that way. So it will be about 6 more days before the other two get out of hospital.
2 days, you reckon?
Yeah, might as well try to go for some success.
Alright, so in that case, both you and Amarak roll a plus 30 on your awareness test because of your heightened senses, and you have a plus 10 for each day you're doing it.
Oh, for crying out.
Oh, 95 on calmness.
There is fate points. Well,
Hooray!
Amarak is successful. Karnath, you've somehow ended up back at the Void Cat.
You can always fate point it, because with the extra time we've got, I doubt we're going to hit combat and you won't have it.
Yeah, well, it regenerates overnight, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, I'll
So-
redo that then.
Oh god.
Hey,
Oh, wow.
Freeze.
Okay.
That was a 17. Hard hit.
That is a good use of fate points. So
Nice.
altogether,
better use than mine.
so you're specific over those 2 days. You're specifically like sort of trying to listen for information of like any other sounds of Eldar and things like that. From what like you guys were, like you guys made a bit of a, well, not you specifically, but of the people who were in the vicinity around the Choke and Puke in sort of that lower level of the Hive City when you first came in from the wastes. The people who were there, they remember seeing you, but they didn't think much of you because, I mean, hey, the tower clearly the much bigger thing going on that day. Like just generally sort of going around a few different areas, there's not really any sort of information, any like similar armor that you guys are wearing. Like some people see you and they start whispering. It's just like, oh, it's one of them Corsair buggers. What is it? What is he doing here? Like there's no sort of sounds of like anyone particularly like you guys. So it doesn't sound as though anyone's come into the city, into this specific Hive City, if they've come to this planet at all. Karnath, you actually caught a little bit of a interesting tidbit of information. As you're sort of like wandering along one of the markets, you sort of wander past these group of orcs, and they seem to be like badgering each other around this sort of orcish kebab stand. And
I want an
like,
orcish kebab.
these,
Wait, no, I don't.
like these orcs are sort of badgering each other back and forth, and you catch like orcs speak their own language, but they kind of like you can kind of gather enough information from their language to be like, you can kind of get the gist of what they're saying. Basically, it amounts to something like they're sort of talking back and forth, and you catch the name Kroldrag, which sort of like draws your attention, and you actually hear one of the orcs mention something about that they had brought in a bunch of scrap from this crashed lander out in the wastes. Looks like something got to them right and proper. At the same time, though, like as they sort of discussing it back and forth, and you realise that they're talking about the fact that they're talking about the ship that you guys attacked and killed a lot of boys. At the same time, though, you catch a little interesting tidbit, and it's just like, we found, like one of them speaks up, and it's just like, he kind of leans in quietly, and he's just like, we found some of their boys, like they came back to the ship after a while as we were scrapping it all and, gathering up the mess. Oh god, he looked terrified. He said, first off, these trucks rolled up, and then this one guy just unleashed explosive Dakar. So much Dakar. Oh, they ran for their lives. Oh, but then, like, and then this one orc, he and his buds ran off into the waste. Stupid bugger. Oh god. But then they got attacked again by these other black buggers. God, they're everywhere.
Sorry.
Interesting.
Shit, well.
took a dark turn.
My head left the 40k universe for a second there, but I'm back.
And I apologize because I can't do an Orcus accent to save my life, but I think
The
you got
fact
the
that you're
gist of it.
trying gets you bonus points.
Yeah, it does. It's better than most, I think.
So you catch that like last little bit of like, oh, these black buggers just went straight at him and like tore them to shreds. Oh, yeah. Do a Actually, you probably know. You don't even need a roll for this. If you can tell me what it is, you pretty much know what it is.
Black buggers that tore them
It's
apart.
one of two things that I'm thinking of.
Black buggers.
Put it this way: it's either someone as skinny as us or someone far fatter.
Yeah, that's what. Oh, I'm drawing a blank.
Is it
Neither
the
are good.
Americans or the
Neither are
elves?
good.
Well,
I think
So
if you're hearing
basically-
this, it's your choice, Freeze.
yeah, I
Well, that's
know.
the
I'm
thing.
just running
You
through
have a
everything I know. I'm probably overthinking it. I'm just running through everything I know that generally wears black armor.
Okay.
Unless we're talking Dark Elder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're black
It was
buggers.
basically either going to be Dark Eldar or some sort of unfortunate Marine
I mean,
that would get
Well,
stabbed a lot.
It's the like as you sort of like put two together and realize that there's the orcs that ran away from you. They seem to have run into some Dark Elder, which not exactly the best thing to do. But the fact that they're here indicates that there's potentially another way, another portal to this planet, another webway portal to this moon you're on.
Was Freeze able to figure out if they were the same group of Dark Eldar were actually fighting, or just generic description?
not
Can't
sure.
tell.
Let me guess. Just double check for me. You have Common Law Eldar, yes? Do a roll for that.
I have. Hang on. I don't think I've redone that. Studying Scholastic Law, Aspect Warrior, Sacred Tongue, Military,
You should have Common Law
Common Law War.
Eldar. Yeah. Should have Common Law Elder. Yeah, you have Common Law Elder.
Apparently not.
Well, you.
You should.
I'm
I might
saying
have
you do
finished.
now.
I think we all started with it as a
You
thing.
all started with it. So.
You guys would have, yeah.
Yep. Just do a Common Law Elder and
Mine is
add
gone
a
too.
plus 30 because this is easy.
Hang on.
Oh, the suspense. Well, they know.
It's kind of funny because Techie didn't. I don't know if you knew anything about her start, did you?
I know nothing about you guys other than your elder.
Hooray!
Okay, so
That's right.
you're sort of like you can spend a fate point here, but this will be your second one for today. The sort of circumstance with like
He
the
rerolled.
circumstance for why you all went, your sort of task force, your combat group went into fight these specific Dark Eldar. You know that you did it. You don't know specifically like what their crimes were, but you knew that they were misusing the webway for their various nefarious purposes. You don't quite know like the fact that you guys ended up here. You weren't sure like how the webway where you were fighting the webway was like translating into the real space. So you don't know like ideally where, but you didn't. All right. So that fate point reroll does get you some information. You were it clicked in your head, and you remembered that you were fighting against and sort of repelling a rather nasty sounding group of Dark Eldar known as the Cabal of the Shattered Soul. And you had known that basically they were doing as Dark Eldar want to do, and making raids into real space from a specific section of the webway, and you you in particular, as you're from a late hawk, you're just like, this won't stand. This won't stand. Let's kick them out and basically take back this section of the webway. Unfortunately, in the period of the fighting within the webway, kind of the sheer amount of destruction and firepower that was unleashed disrupted the sort of the immaterium, the section of the immaterium in which the webway resides, and hence why you three, Kana, Amarak, and Vaithral got trapped in a sort of a bisection of the webway and were forced down this one specific path as you were cut off from the rest of your task force. From what you recall, basically, in terms of the fighting that sort of stranded you guys here, at the same time, though, while the rest of the Craftworld Eldar managed to get away, it seems that the Dark Eldar also got trapped in this section of the webway, and from your records, from what records the Craftworld Eldar had of this section of the webway, it was a dead end. So it sounds as though if there's Dark Eldar here, they aren't really going anywhere anytime soon.
Huh.
But you have a little bit of information to go on now that there are Dark Eldar active on this moon of Taruta.
Man, we need
Even
to track down one of those orcs we terrified. Well, Freeze terrified. Just gonna go, hey, we're back. Where were they? I get the impression that's never gonna happen.
It depends. I mean, like you guys spent 2 days gathering information to find that little tidbit out. There's still another 4 days before Duralius and Vaithral sort of recover from their med center induced sort of revivification. So it depends. You guys can spend like the next 4 days physically tracking down like the 1 or 2 orcs that actually managed to survive and escape.
Freeze, what do you reckon? Should we keep trying to find a way off this place, or should we try to track down the Dark Eldar?
Just wondering if the Dark Eldar will actually help us, or whether they're having too much fun torturing orcs.
I wasn't planning on looking for help. Oh man, if there's one thing I want to do with Compel, it's go like basically just walk up to someone and say, "You should kill yourself."
They have a bonus against that.
Yes, they get
Specifically
a
against
to oppose willpower to that, but I want to succeed with one. And considering our bonuses make no difference when we're rolling. Basically, the other thing to consider here, just outside the game, is I'm pretty keen to try to track them down just for, let's go revengeing. But Techie's going to get dragged into it.
So that's the point. Like both your tech priest and also your fire warrior, depending on what you guys do, they already know that you're not human.
We're also
Because
probably not going to give a shit about some Dark Eldar, though.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to drag this into... Like, one of the things I saw we had a problem with at the start of the campaign was trying to figure out how the hell we were supposed to group up. Because everyone was like, I hate you, you hate me, yay, happy family.
So, I suppose that's the point, though. You can sort of like attempt to sort of like they're basically Vaithral and Duralius basically out for the count until the end of this week at the minimum, so they can't really do anything or decide anything. At the same time, though, there's like Duralius would know for certain because he actually came here by ship. To get off planet is exceedingly difficult if you don't already own a ship or you haven't managed to acquire a way onto a ship. Unless you can do
How hard it be to take one?
Maybe we should try to find out more about these Dark Eldar, and then once we have that, or if we get that information, we can decide on it. Because regardless of whether we find a way off here or not, the other two are still going to join us once they're healed, and we can just figure out that shit from there. In the meantime, I reckon we should keep tracking this lead. It doesn't mean we have to run off and kill them. Although if we bump into them...
just on that point, could I please get a Forbidden Law Psycho test from you in particular?
Uh-oh.
Oh, interesting.
No bonuses?
The forbidden laws when it gets
Or no
juicy.
modifiers?
No modifiers. Just a flat.
Oh, slam. What'd you get there?
Slam
5.
dunk.
Wow.
So yeah, basically, if you're familiar with Warhammer 40k lore, you know that there's
Somewhat.
a specific reason why the Dark Eldar tend to reside in the Webway, which involves which involves the fact that hey, they're basically soulless creatures whose souls are eternally drained by the eternal hunger of she who thirsts, aka Slanesh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
That's why I've got my lucky stone.
that's what the Craftworld Eldar are avoiding, along with strict control of their emotions. The
Yep.
thing is,
In case I accidentally have an orgy.
that's true. Now the thing is, at the moment, you remember back to your training, the whole follow the paths of the Elder, otherwise you'll turn into depraved sort of you know seeking glory, bloodlust, and just death at every turn, as the Dark Eldar want to do. The thing is, the Dark Eldar can't really reside in real space for any significant length of time because the drain on their souls in the Webway is infinitesimally longer. They can live in the Webway much longer before, as opposed to living in real space. Because if they're living in real space, they kind of are forced to literally kill and murder someone or torture someone every single hour of every single day. Whereas in the Webway, they can get away with it for maybe like a week.
These guys are going to be really easy to... Well, maybe not so much considering this planet.
Makes you want out there surviving, but yeah.
I didn't know that specific, like the whole living outside the Webway thing. Suddenly Dawn of War makes way more sense, like the constant torture pits.
Yeah, it's that whole thing. It's just like there's a reason why they come out of the Webway, they raid and loot and pillage, take their slaves, and then head back to Komorra so quickly. Is because it hurts to be in real space with them. Like, so much pain.
That'll be good to know if we catch one alive. So, Freeze, you reckon we should try to chase this lead and see what we can learn about them?
I reckon we should. If anything, they'd be more desperate to get off planet than we would, so they may lead us to something.
True. If not, we can steal their stuff. I mean, something the Eldar would do.
Alright then. So how many days would you like to spend doing this? Because you guys can either work in tandem or you can roll separately.
So what, we spent 3 days so far.
Yep, so you have another
We got 4.
You reckon we should keep going separate just because it means extra rolls? It seems extra rolls are
chance.
better than a plus 10 to a single roll.
Yeah, as you said, bonuses aren't helping us at all.
Yep. Just keep rolling and eventually a good one turns up.
Yeah,
Well.
basically, I think that's a better chance. Like 2
Right,
1d100 is better than 1.
So we'll just keep
So-
searching alone and kind of meeting up, I guess, like end of the day, or unless we find something amazing and just sharing the info.
So if you guys want to spend like the rest of the week doing that, you can roll at a plus 40. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So for the first day, but then for every additional day it's a plus 10. So you're going to be rolling at a plus 40 overall because that includes your heightened senses.
Yep, cool. Yeah, might as well do that. I assume I spared 5 minutes to see how Nob's going.
Nob's going all right. He's not winded or anything, but the fact he's going to have a bit of a gash on his armor from where he got chopped.
Yeah, fair enough. I can't believe that the bonuses made a difference. We rolled like shit and managed
Oh
to
my
get
God.
just over the mark.
So it is literally on the last day of the week before the Duralius and Vatel sort of gather themselves together and actually sort of in a more fighting fit condition. You've kind of like been trying to chase down like whispers of like dark, shadowy beings, or like you're trying to find more information on these orcs who got away, you almost gave up hope until you actually you're sort of like come together and you like sort of hung your heads in shame. It's just like, what do? We can't find them. We can't find out anything more. And then you catch this one glimpse of this orc who's like, he looks as though he's being ribbed on by these other orcs, and like, they're punched him playfully, and it's just like, ah ha 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 ha. It's just like, oh, this is the one cowardly orc who survived. Quick, get him a squig. So, you appear to, by chance, as it were, manage to locate the final, one of the orcs who appears to have survived, and you throughout the rest of your days searching, you just haven't managed to locate any information of these people, of these Dark LR at all, if they've even ventured this close to the Hive.
So can we follow this shadow this orc around for a while until a point comes where he can sort of get him by himself?
Oh
Well,
yeah, most certainly. There is in
I
fact a
feel
thing
like
called
I could
shadowing.
speed that up.
Okay, then what do you propose to do?
Oh no.
I'm just gonna compel him and say, "Get yourself alone."
So you're
Oh,
trying
man.
to you're going to be trying to compel him in the midst of his buddies.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of how I can do this without being noticed and without just stuffing it up horribly.
Also, there's the chance the orcs will still just follow him anyway.
Yeah, true.
Deprive their senses so they panic from last time, and then
Well, the last
Blind
time
him
we
and
did
then
that,
bring
they
him
killed
over.
each other. Well, beat the crap out of each other. We need this guy conscious for now.
Just on that point, I was applying deprive senses a little bit incorrectly, so it's not quite that broken as it was in the previous sessions.
Okay.
I thought as much.
That's kind of hilarious.
It did make it a little bit easier, didn't it?
Well, most other enemies when we're fighting are not going to beat the shit out of each other, or less likely to.
Yeah, true.
The orcs are probably one of the few creatures you'd be able to do it to.
Yeah. Well, I think for now, maybe we'll try following him and wait for an opportune time, but if it's taking too long.
So yeah, I suppose if you want to follow him at a distance, I suppose that's the thing. It's going to be a shadowing roll, which is an advanced skill. Unfortunately, probably the best person in the group who's good at shadowing is Vaithral, who's currently in hospital.
I suppose
So
if they come in,
Make
I just
Faithful
run back
proud.
and say, "How do I shadow?"
use your psychic link to tell me to go over there or something. I don't know.
Use the older force.
Well,
can Emmerich use some sort of suggestion to say, hey, you need to go relieve yourself outside?
That is basically what compel is, and depending on the
compel
nature.
lets me give a simple command, basically, and they're going to do it unless they resist.
Yeah, because if you can compel him to,
Well,
say,
yeah,
poop,
if it's the right sort of compel.
it won't look as it won't be out of character.
Like
So-
if he goes into a tavern, I can say, "Hey, go around go outside and around the back to take a leak."
Yeah, which in a tavern is quite normal, so no one would question it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Screw it. Yeah, if he's is he in a tavern now, or are we following him until he goes into one, or?
You're following him at you're kind of standing there talking, and as they're kind of walking past you, it looks like they're all walking onto what looks to be a combination of an orcish sort of barbecue and an orcish beer garden. So obviously the garden aspect is quite clearly just orcish scrap metal done into crude structures and things like that. So it's very possible he's going to be what's your star rating currently?
2. It was 2 or 3? No, 3.
It's currently 3, so he's gonna be running. He's gonna be moving out of range very quickly, unless you decide to like do a compel. He's kind of like around that bit, but as you sort of like look and glance at in his general direction, you see like orcs sort of like rampaging, like sort of rummaging around, doing what orcs do, like some of the like chomping hungrily on like squig meat and things like that. There's Gretchen sort of like there looks to be literally a Gretchen cockfight in along to the side of one of the in one area. But then you see like there's orcs sort of like drifting in and out here and there, doing their own thing. So it's not going to be exceedingly unusual if an orc just wandered up by himself.
I might as well go for it, but before I do it, I'd say get Freeze to hide somewhere where he basically doesn't need to do a concealment check. Because if this orc sees you, I think he's going to remember you.
My concealment score is kind of low, so
Yeah, I was thinking if you could bugger off like down the road and around the corner, and I can still contact you via telepathy. So
You also
theoretically,
like microbade.
Do you have short range shot telepathy?
thought sending as a
You
you
have-
know we have communicators like attached to
We
our
do
heads.
have do have communicators
That's
anyway.
not
so
as cool.
Yeah.
Well,
It
either
also
or.
has
showing
less
off.
chance for demons. It also has less chance of demons.
That's true. Okay, fine. I'll use a community.
It was hilarious. Like he goes to contact Freeze, and suddenly a demon appears while he's like, talking to him.
what? Rah!
All right then. So roll 1d5 to determine how many degrees of success, unless you feel like going beyond fetid.
I wish you didn't ask me because I wouldn't have considered it otherwise. Hang on. That one.
I ask you because it's fun.
That's why I'm considering it. So the first step up is unfettered.
Unfettered, but if you roll double or fail your focus power test, you roll on psychic phenomena.
So I rolled 2 1d5s if it was the same result on each.
No. Basically, your focus power test for compel, it is an opposed willpower test. So basically, you roll your willpower against his willpower, and if you roll doubles or fail, then you trigger psychic phenomena.
I don't think I actually have the psychic phenomenon table here.
I have that.
Yeah, that's more for the GM.
Yeah,
than you.
true.
It's not bad.
Otherwise it
It's
ruins
not-
the suspense.
It's not bad until you get to Perils of the Warp. Then I have fun.
Yeah, because psychic phenomenon is shit goes weird. Perils of the Warp is shit goes wrong. And I think I have to push to get a peril.
No, basically, psychic phenomena table has a potential result of anywhere between 1 and 100.
Oh god.
You roll above a 75, you trigger perils.
I think there's I think it's like another level if you get a higher roll on that too.
Yeah. Also, if you decide to push, you automatically trigger perils.
Yep.
See, that's the thing about Elder. They're really good when they're under control. The moment they lose control and like start whipping out like lightning bolts and things like that, then things start going very wrong.
So I would assume that the higher the number of the Perils of the Warp table, the worse, because
Yes.
the generic thing is if you fail your focus power test, you roll Perils of the Warp, adding plus 15 per psi rating increase up to 4 that you choose.
Yes.
So holy shit on that.
Yeah.
I
there-
think
I just want to say there isn't even a result for anything above a 100 result on Perils of the Warp.
which is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
my mind explodes.
Let me I will read the result for Perils of the Warp of a 100 result. The label for this Peril of the Warp is called Destruction. The Psyker is immediately and irrevocably destroyed. He is sucked screaming into the warp, never to be seen again, or he is utterly consumed by hellfire. There is a 50% chance that a demonic entity spawns in the Psyker's place.
Oh man, so if I really hate you guys, that is the best thing to do ever. Just push until I summon demons and explode.
No, see, the thing is, there are many other things potentially that could happen. One of which is called Lost to the Warp, where the Psyker is dragged into the warp by a demon for purposes unknown. The Psyker appears on an inhabited planet 1d10 weeks later.
Oh god. I'm not going to push. That's a given.
I suppose that's the question.
I kind of want to go unfettered because it'd be funny. I know I'll regret it because our rolls are shit, but because fettered gives me basically
Leave it for a time where we could possibly defend ourselves a little better.
Yeah, I don't
well,
think I
at the
should.
moment,
Yeah.
It's up to you because I mean, like it gives you a greater chance of success.
But it also gives me a chance for failure because with fettered, I can just not get it done. Not that's the worst end result.
Yeah, that's the thing. It can just fail.
I
And that's
think I will probably stick with fettered now and go unfettered and crazy when I need to.
Okay, so you
Because
have.
I think I'll push my
your-
luck otherwise.
Yep.
How
So
many
your
fate
star
points have
rating.
you got left?
Actually, can I? Oh yeah, I could fate points. Can I fate point to avoid perils? Like if I
Basically,
do a shit roll, can I fate point to re-roll that?
okay. You can do a fate point to re-roll a focus power test. You have to accept the second result. If
Yeah,
that
okay.
triggers perils, or psychic phenomena, you can use a fate point to re-roll that.
Ah, okay. Fair enough. Well, anyway, yeah, I'll just go with fettered.
All right. So your star rating is considered to be
3.
half its normal value, rounded up. So it's currently at 2.
So it's 2.
Roll 1d5.
Shit.
No, that's actually good. You have 1 effective degree of success.
Nice.
Yeah, but
Which
here's hoping the orcs as weak-minded as they were earlier.
do a Sonitions test for me.
For fuck's
Oh.
sake.
Fate point.
Oh, 91.
Jeez.
Fuck you, fate point. I haven't used one. I might as well join in with the failure party.
You can't
Now
do
what's
much worse than that.
Watch this. 100 come out.
Come on.
Oh wow.
Hey.
31.
It's
Good
weird.
roll.
This system is working the way it's supposed to work.
Unlike last time, where I think was it Duralius did a fate point and rolled worse.
Yes, I rolled a
After
fate
rolling,
point twice.
constant
I rolled
minus
fate points
twos
twice,
worse.
and I made worse rolls. Yeah. And also there was the one in the fight where I fate pointed and still jammed the gun.
That's
Hey,
true.
just as a side note, maybe this is just confirmation bias, but there's been an update and suddenly the rolls have variation. I'm starting to question if there wasn't actually an issue with the randomizer.
Ooh.
I honestly don't know. It's
Because there's every chance we could just roll that shit that frequently. So it could, like I said, it could just be confirmation bias that I'm seeing, what I think should happen after an update. Anyway.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it literally went from before this update that seems to have gone through in the last 2 weeks since we played. It literally went from the first session, Freeze was stealing everyone's luck. The second session, Freeze could not hit the broadside of a ship.
Yeah.
And both
so
times I couldn't succeed anything.
So the good news is that your Sonation has determined that yes, the orc has fallen under your sway, and you can compel her to do a small, fairly simple task. And your determining of how the orcs sort of perceive this. Yeah, they're too embroiled in their own good times to really notice. So you can give them simple commands to sort of place him wherever you want him to go.
Well, is there if he was to come outside where the place he's at, is there an alleyway near the entrance that could just say, "Hey, you want to take a piss in that alley?"
Yeah, it's a short walk away, about 20 or so meters. But I mean, it's relatively close.
Yep, I think that's probably our best chance. So let's do that.
I suppose where is Karnath hiding in all this?
Down the alley.
Down the alley around the corner so you don't have to roll concealment?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I think he's being him being compelled. You don't really need to roll a hide anymore, right?
That's
Well,
the thing.
he's
It's
still fully functioning. He just kind of, from his perspective, as far as I understand it, he decided he needs to take a piss in this spot and has no
okay.
reason to question the thought.
Yeah, okay, so he might still need it.
He's just like, oh my god, I have to pee on that garbage can around the corner.
It is also literally the case where he's compelled, but he's compelled to do that one thing doesn't mean he can't do other things.
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
Alright, then. So, what are you looking to do now that you sort of you caught him just as he's about to sort of enter into the orc sort of hab block party? How do you want to you see him turn around and go towards the alley you sort of psychically suggested him to go towards? What would you like to do? Would you like to sort of shadow behind him?
Crap, I don't think I can do what I want to do without killing myself. How
Is there
far
anything-
down? Sorry, what was that phrase?
Is there anyone else in the alley, or is it deserted?
That's probably a good
It's
question.
deserted. It's closer. It's edging towards night, and yes, it's a hive city, so there's always people around. But the fact that you're kind of on the border of what's been defined as sort of haphazardly set up as orc territory and greenskin territory. Not many people. The orcs are rowdy and having a party. They're not. There's no one really residing in this hab area at the moment that would see you.
Does he have a gun?
He has all orcs have their own chopper, but this guy does not seem to have been does not seem to have gone up the ranks to get his own slugger. It appears he may have had his taken away from him for being a coward.
Brilliant. I am going to use sensory deprivation and strike him mute.
We want him to talk, don't we?
Not yet. Now it doesn't matter if I stuff up my stealth. What's he going to do? Turn around and shout?
Yeah, true.
I like how he's lucky you're thinking here.
Yeah, now watch me roll a -5.
It's okay. You automatically succeed. An orc's, and particularly an orc that is isolated, his willpower is pretty shit.
Sweet. So basically, he's kind of... So at this point, he's walking into there, and he's kind of, I assume, probably up against a wall, taking a piss or trying to figure out why he can't take a piss because he didn't need to. One of the two. So my plan was literally to just kind of tell Freeze to wander around behind him and just kind of, walk up to this guy, tap him on the shoulder and be like, hey. And I figure if he remembers Freeze's mask...
So he turns you tap him on the shoulder of Freeze, and he's a fairly runty orc, but he's still tall enough that you kind of have to reach up a little bit to tap him on the shoulder. He turns around, and he sees your mask, and he's just like, oh, and he's just like. he literally can't he tried to sort of shout something, just like, and he can't say anything. But the thing is, he's actually he looked as though he was going to do a shocked shout, but it's not something. He doesn't look like he's about to run away though. So he looks like, even though he got terrified of you before, he recognized you from before. He actually decides not to run away because he knows that running away would probably get him killed faster.
Oh, good. That'll save another compel. Being psychic is ridiculous. Am I actually able, I should have asked this beforehand, but anyway, am I actually able to remove the sensory deprivation at will, or do we just sit here until it wears off?
Basically, it's you're able to maintain it for however long you want, but at a minimum, he will be basically you can basically make it as long as you want, but just roll a 1d5 to see how many seconds he's going to be out. So this will be like rounds, so you can basically talk at him while he's mute.
Fair enough.
So that's going to be 5 rounds, which is equivalent to about 25 to 30 seconds. But you can kind of drop that sooner, and then reapply it, sort of
Yeah.
thing. It just requires every time you go to reapply it, you basically have to try and overcome the orc's resistance again, and he might actually just shrug it off.
Yeah. No, basically, I'm just going to hold it enough time to ask whatever questions we need to try to find out more about these Dark Eldar, and then let it go to let him talk. So, just trying to think of the easiest way to ask it.
Where? How many?
Yeah, pretty much.
So how are you describing them? That's probably the key point.
So, well, I guess Free should ask the question because he overheard the conversation. So, what were they calling them? Like the
The black bastards.
Black bastards, yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh, if only we were recording this. Oh, wait. That'll be my new ringtone. It'll just be Freeze and Techie going, Black bastards, yeah, black bastards.
Apologies for those out there who are actually of that ethnicity.
I am a terrible person.
Yeah, you kind of are if you wanted to put that as a ringtone. You might get some really bad looks on the train.
Oh, I would die.
They're orcs.
Okay.
They're not very nice people.
So you're looking to sort of identify, and sort of talk to him about these black things that seem to have ripped him to shreds. So you're looking specifically for numbers and where?
Yeah, where were they when they got attacked if they weren't too panicked at the time?
From memory, you recall that the orcs that you saw run away, there were at least half a dozen that got away, and from what you had overheard previously from your general sort of skulking throughout the Hive City, throughout the certain sections of the Hive City, it really seemed to only be this guy that got away. And he sort of looks at you and he's just he was kind of just flapping his gums trying to make words, and he's just you want what? And he's talking a bit loudly, but he's just you want to know where those black things are? Why do you want that?
Tell us and you'll live.
Living is good. Okay. He jabs a finger towards Carla, and he's just well, we were running away from this guy and his dagger. By the way, nice dagger. We were running away from this guy, and me and the boys, we were running, and then we stopped, and then we're just we're shouting at each other, be we should probably head back. And then freaking lightning came from the sky, and then these things swooped down and shot at us and clawed at us, and then the rest of the boys got captured where I played dead, and that seemed to be enough.
Crap. Also, why did we think we could get information from an orc?
Oh,
By the way, nice dagger, I love it.
Yeah, brilliant. Completely believable.
well,
Based on his description, are we able to figure out even slightly what sort of units they'd have?
yeah, how long did they run for?
We ran and ran, and then we stopped, and then we looked back, and we could still see the ship, but so we ran some more.
So not too far sight from the ship.
So they ran north away from the fight until they basically, I assume they probably couldn't see the ship by the time they stopped.
We ran, and then dust storms came up, kicked up, and it's just this is good, and then it's just dust everywhere. I'm surprised I managed to make it back to the ship in one piece.
Wait, so they got attacked back at the ship? Or
No,
he
it's-
just made it back by himself.
he made it back by himself.
Right, okay. Yeah. I don't know how much more we're going to get out of this guy.
Are there any idea of how many there were, if you can count that high?
Like he literally starts like putting fingers up, and he's just like,
Don't worry about it. Forget I asked.
This many.
it's just like there was at least one big broom, and then there was these like two guys that looked like they were riding wings. Then like there was another one. He had a really, really, really fast bike. That's I fell down and fell asleep after that.
I kind of don't want to kill this guy because he's entertaining.
Can we ask him to join the party?
I feel like that's probably a poor decision. Even though I'm tempted, I feel like as an elder, I would say no.
Yeah.
So what? So what are we talking about? Jet bikes, hellions.
Actually, do a common law war, and you might be able to sort of pin down exactly what he's trying to describe for you.
Something I wish I took, a hindsight and all that being fantastic, is I can actually get Common Law Dark Eldar for 100 experience.
That might be handy.
Would have been handy, yes.
You didn't know they were coming though, so therefore, now you
well,
know though. It'd be
the
a
funny
good
thing
time
is-
to reread your codexes on it.
Yeah. Well, I like the funny thing is we're fighting these guys, so yeah.
63. Yeah, but you couldn't have known that they would actually sort of follow you there, I guess, considering what happened.
True. Hindsight's a bitch.
Yeah.
That is true. Which is probably, if you're looking to go into a Farseer, then you don't have hindsight, you have foresight all the time. So you kind of know like what he's trying to generally describe. Like the moment he mentions a bike, you think back to like there's one of the craft worlds in particular. I believe it's Samhan, or however you pronounce it. That are very Samhain, very renowned for their Eldar jet bikes. But it sounds as though sounds like there's one of those, but a Dark Eldar sort, and you don't quite recall like exactly what the others sound like, but it does sound as though you do recall seeing some of them when you were fighting them in the webway, but you can't really sort of pin down like he's giving like very sort of basic descriptions and very basic numbers. So what he says is a bike might in fact be something else.
I don't know what else he's going to be helpful with because he hasn't exactly been helpful with much else to start with.
Yeah. He's given us some basic information, and then coupled with our roles, we know not a great deal more.
If you want to see, like, just in terms of getting more information from him, you may attempt to do a. You may perform an interaction skill test of your choice to try and sort of get something from him. So options are things like charm, intimidation, deceive, interrogation, potentially, inquiry, sort of like trying to get some more information from him, but you're going to be rolling at a -20 because you're trying to converse from Eldar to Orc.
Every single one of those skills is under 20 for me.
I've got Intimidate at 40, but this orc doesn't seem to handle pressure very well.
The fact that he's actually managed to stand up to you is surprising. Like the fact he didn't piss by the mere sight of you was something. I mean, you may attempt to, but you're going to be rolling at a -20 because of that special little trait, speak not unto the alien.
Yeah.
on all fellowship-based tests. So if you look and intimidate, that is actually a strength-based. So you're actually not going to suffer a penalty on that one.
I'll try intimidating him. I'm not sure if this isn't going to work too well. I'm going to roll
Look-
like what 96. Who's got no? Hey,
Oh,
Hey.
nice.
So you kind of like actually
Brilliant.
describe your intimidation.
Hint: use the gun.
yeah. Point
Hey,
the
buddy,
gun.
remember this?
Point at the gun. Point at him, and say, "We need better information than what you're giving."
And he's like just like he's talking about it, and he's
Sorry,
just
not
like
that we need better information. My launcher needs better information, rather.
he's just like he holds up his hands and he's just like, okay, the boss,
God, we
boss,
broke him.
the boss knows, boss would know. He's seen them, he's fought them.
See, I'm pretty sure I'm already a Farseer because I saw this coming.
Boss has seen them, boss has fought them. Was it? Oh yeah. They race. Boss has actually raced one of them.
What?
They didn't see that coming.
God damn it!
I think Rise just got served by this orc.
So your boss is friends with these guys?
Oh no. We race. Boss races against their boss. We beat them. They give us guns. They give us Dakar.
Where are these races held?
It's out there, west. Please don't kill me.
Are these races something or we are able to attend?
You're going to need the reddest bike ever.
I've kind of throughout this conversation, I just wish I chose to be an orc in this. Orcs are fun. Right, we're gonna have to talk to this boss, aren't we?
Can we talk to the boss?
Like he's kind of just like you're going to need to go see him directly about that. I don't know. Like he's looking.
Okay, to roll another
he's actually
intimidate check.
He's actually kind of looking sheepish at it. It's just like, I don't know.
This is giant orc.
If it's like any normal sort of war boss, I get the impression that he's not going to be able to tell us much useful about him.
I'll probably try to kill you first.
Yeah. Can you think of anything else you wanted to ask, Freeze?
Nothing really. We've got much other leads to go.
Yeah.
We need to find.
I think that's kind of as much information as we're going to get, I think.
Yeah. What do we do with them?
Well, I'll be honest. When I said I wasn't going to kill him, I was lying. But now I can't. I don't know if I have the willpower to actually kill this guy because he's entertaining.
The only thing I'm thinking is he going to go back and say, "Hey, those guys who killed all our buddies are just over there."
Yeah, I was kind of thinking, if one of us could tell him to forget this conversation happened and have it happen. I don't know if I can push compulsion that far, though.
Oh,
My God, I abuse that power.
all I can do is try and terrify him.
Both of those are valid tactics.
Crap. I really wish I pushed towards... Oh, I don't think I could even get it. My next ability, I won't spoil what it is, but holy shit, it's going to open up some opportunities.
Please tell me it's not Puppet Master.
Oh, no, I'm not that far yet, but I'm aiming for it. Which is, I had a big laugh when I saw it because, Puppet Master. Okay.
But my intimidate, I'm rolling for a 40, so I got what the 4 in 10 chance of getting that right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rise can assist on that.
Does it
Only
matter
if
what my intimidate is for an assist?
you do need to be trained in it though.
I'm not.
So you have a 4 in 10 chance of successful in intimidating. Otherwise, you could attempt some sort of psychic powers, but it's kind of up in the air in terms of how effective that will be.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, we can do one then the other if the first one fails, I guess.
Well, you go first because I've got, he's got to get like 16 meters away from me before I can hit him with that ability.
Alrighty. Yeah.
Oh, ouch.
So, fate
73.
point or my turn?
I've only got one fate point left, but are we going to be doing anything else today, or is that going to be the end of it?
Well, I
It's
think
basically it's approaching. It's late afternoon, twilight at the moment, so it's basically approaching resting time anyway. So you will
Alright.
recover them, have them all for next session anyway, when everyone will be capable of doing stuff.
Not
Oh,
that it helps.
not enough.
Yeah.
Alright,
That's
before
six,
you leave,
that's
Emmerich.
that's close enough to it for a partial success. So you can intimidate enough into sort of agreeing to sort of keep silence, but he wants something in return.
How about don't not have a rocket launcher shoved down his throat?
I bet those missiles cost a lot of teeth.
Can I just kill him?
Just like, yes, give me your teeth. I feel like if that's going to happen, everyone's going to rush out of that orc place, though, unless we can do it silently.
Yeah,
Not with
rocket
missiles.
silently.
Yeah. You'd smack him over the head with a rocket. Um,
I'm not sure how silently you can kill an orc.
I guess I should try to compel him. I'm trying to keep this command as simple as possible, but still actually useful, because saying something like, forget you saw us here seems too complex.
Yes, memory alteration.
Oh, that's probably there somewhere.
Yeah, I think it is.
Do a cognitions test for me, Amarak.
My God.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you
What's the
like
science?
you're trying to figure out like what the best usage of your abilities is to like make an orc forget, and you're just coming up blank. It's just like orcs are really stubborn bastards.
How much time would it take for him to, just as an example, if he was to run back into that orc area, kind of scream, hey, there's people out here, and have them run back outside, would we have enough time to be completely gone by then, considering we have sprint?
Oh yeah, you can outrun them fantastically. But basically, he could actually start shouting right now and draw their attention. They'd be here in about 15 seconds.
Which would still give us enough time to get out of there? If we're running at full speed.
What's your full speed? What's your running distance, which is times 4 your agility?
God, where is it? Oh, 4 times agility bonus?
Yep.
So 20.
Yeah,
Is it
20
then
here.
sprint on top of that?
Sprint adds an additional number of meters of movement when you take a full run action. And because you guys have unnatural agility, that additional is doubled. So your agility for both of you is over 50, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mine is 50.
Mine's
Okay,
54.
so when you guys sprint, you guys will literally be sprinting 30 meters every 6 seconds.
Yeah,
In
well,
short,
basically,
yes, you can get out of sight. But the thing is, do you want to try and get out without being seen? Because sprinting will definitely make you be seen.
fair enough. Well, the way I'm looking at this, basically, I've got 2 options in terms of abilities. I can just mute the guy again, and we can bugger off, so he has to run back in there, which will buy us all the time in the world. What I was originally going to do is use compulsion again and just say, "You're terrified." and then run. So if he remembers us, he's going to talk us up like we're the most terrifying thing in the world.
Hang on, didn't you say that a single isolated orc has a really terrible willpower score?
Yep.
Yep.
But the problem is, if I scare him, is he going to scream immediately?
No, I was thinking about what earlier about you wanted to go
Oh,
up and tell him
God.
just to kill himself.
I can try. So what? To say, hey, go to grey yourself.
Yeah.
You can attempt to. It's a potentially suicidal act, so he gets a plus 20 to his willpower test.
Yeah.
That
Tell
would
you
solve
what,
all our problems.
if this fails, you shove him over and we run.
Okay.
Seriously. Okay, so are you looking to go fettered or unfettered?
Why'd you have to ask? So full psi rating for the technique, and then if I roll double or fail, focus power. So full psi rating at the moment is a difference of 1. So I don't know if it's really worth it until I hit rank 2 when I can bump it up to 4.
Basically, if you use your full psi rating, basically for I'm just checking that now, in fact, but I believe on a full psi, if you do a psychic power test and use your psi rating, it in fact allows you to just double checking at the moment, but I believe a psi rating for every psi rating that you add to it.
Oh, that's for push, when you can actually choose to add psi rating.
Hmm. Yeah, but that's right. There are some abilities which are just like dependent on range. So if you're using it as a fettered, you're going to be counting your psi rating as at half. But so for instance, like range and power and damage and things like that, they're dependent upon psi rating. But for this one,
Okay.
he's literally standing like 2 meters away from you.
Yeah, fair enough. Also, I think part of my talents and traits are missing. Anyway, because that thing I have the +5 per psi rating for focus, that's just against their resistance, isn't it?
What is that one? Let me just double check exactly what that is.
I'm just trying to find what it is.
I believe it's called. Is that invocation? No. Wait, is it? Just checking that. Sorry about that. But I actually don't know what that is referring to in particular. So,
Yeah, I can't remember where that came from. I haven't been paying much attention to it, so who cares? I think it's probably worthwhile for me right now going fettered, just because, yeah, a +1 psi rating is probably not going to be that helpful here.
so fettered or unfettered? Oh, so fettered. So yep, you automatically succeed. Roll 1d5 to determine your degree of success.
Yeah, that
So
works.
you have 0 degrees of success because it's half your psi rating minus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, good news is, so you basically told him to be terrified.
Oh wait, wasn't I?
Oh wait,
Was
you're
I scaring him or killing him?
were you killing him or scaring him? You were basically telling him to commit suicide or scaring him away.
Thought we were going for the suicide.
Yeah, I was going for suicide. I don't think it's going to work.
Does it work?
Aww.
Aww.
It does.
Wait, what?
I was
What?
asking, does it work? And it
Oh
does.
my god.
What?
How are you asking him like to suggest he commit suicide?
So I think I'll just say, remember when I said I wouldn't kill you? You'll do it.
Oh.
And I just, um, I guess you should go as efficient as possible without making him scream. So, Chopper, neck. He's just gonna.
You should have made him go into the compound and pull out a grenade and take out a bunch of them at once.
That's a little bit excessive. It's also going to be taking him out of your range, and he can't really do that in one round. Compel is basically they could do it almost instantaneously.
Man, that would have been great though.
So what? This is bloody great what you just did now.
Yeah, true. I'm just thinking when I've got my I'm just going to push during a fight to try to get someone to set off a grenade in the middle of their squad. Yeah, okay, so it's literally just a case of he's going to, like I've told him to pull out his chopper and just stab himself in the neck so he can't scream.
Alright then, could I please get a willpower test from you?
Just flat willpower?
Flat willpower.
Oh, 60.
Okay, so for the sheer notion of telling another living creature to commit suicide, 1 corruption point for you.
Oh shit!
Crap.
Good job.
That's
How
okay.
many
You're
corruption do I have to hit before I'm no longer an elder?
no, dude. You're at half the corruption points I got.
Hooray! Yeah, but you don't change effectively your race. If I get too corrupt, I'm not an elder, and I don't think Freeze will take kindly to that. Or Knob.
It's if you get too insane that you're
won't
not
take
an
kindly
elder.
to that.
Oh, it's insanity, not corruption.
If you get corrupted, your soul is rent in twain for all eternity.
Shit. Can you get rid of corruption?
It's tricky but possible.
I cast Compel on the GM. Fair enough. Honestly, totally worth it. So.
I was always half expecting him to say you gain another corruption point just for trying that.
No, unfortunately not. So, yeah, that was actually you got some information. Obviously, orc giving information is not exactly the best way of getting information, but you were successful in a regard. So you guys can choose to rest, recover your fate points. On the next day, you go and meet up with Vaithral and Duralius in the med center, and they're kind of finished their 7 days worth of healing. They still have some critical wounds to their bodies in particular, but they're now sort of mostly fighting fit. At this point, you guys share your information so you can deliberate upon that as a group, and we'll call it there for tonight.
I feel bad that Freeze and I had all this fun romping around, but hopefully we're at least entertaining for you guys.
I was hoping someone would at least
I'm
try to contact me so I would snore over the combi.
Duralius, we need you to...
To be fair, the sort of the way you guys were going about getting information was particularly pertinent to you guys in particular as Eldar.
And considering one tower just kind of went, fuck you guys, and ran away, and the other one went, oh, hang on, I've got work.
He's probably deliberating with Captain Porky.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
So we come to experience, and I realize, talking with you guys earlier, particularly about just the way things are going, I realized that if I kept going at the rate of experience, it'd take us forever to get anywhere, so buffing experience gain a little bit.
Sweet.
Awesome.
So for that session, you all gain 300 experience, including those who are mostly comatose.
Thanks, man.
Just check my pulse every couple of days. Yep, okay, he's still alive.
Got a pulse? Another 100.
Alright, so you all get 300 at base, and for role-playing, I'm going to give 50 to Amarak and Karnath, because that was fun. Not going to lie, that was quite fun. It was also heavily weighted in your favour, but hopefully Duralius and Vaithral will come up with some good experiences next time.
Yeah, that was brilliant. I do honestly feel bad that you guys had to sit there in a bed for the whole thing, but
Well,
hey, if I got you to laugh,
that was kind of in our own
that's what you
getting
get for being
ourselves
on
hurt.
fire.
Well, hey, it wasn't my fault at all.
I'll be honest.
There by the bloody towel.
Your ridiculous bad luck last session was just entertaining the hell out of me, so I guess this is just me returning the favor by corrupting myself.
I think
And-
the whole popped up being the orc was the most entertaining for me. You do a good
Yep.
orc. You do a good orc.
Brilliant work.
It's just they're the biggest. They're as fun as I can make it. The only other character I'm probably going to have more fun with is if I actually come across some Ministoran priests, but there's no reason for them to be on this planet.
Well, there's no reason for Eldar to be here. So.
True. All right then. So that bumps you up a little bit. So 300 onto that. I think at this rate, if I do that for another 2 more sessions, you'll be reaching rank 2.
Sweet. So keen for rank 2.
Yeah, it's been a while. So today was the 5th session. So by the 7th session, you guys should be around about leveling into the 2nd rank. So I'm still working on doing up a few advanced classes for the Eldar. So there won't be anything available for you at rank 2. So, but that doesn't prohibit you from going into the rest of the other published books for Rogue Trader and looking at some of the available advanced classes there.
The stuff I'm getting, just the flat upgrades like talents and skills in rank 2. So keen to get them. Increase my psi rating, get foresight, more techniques. Oh
Yeah.
god, more techniques.
For I've mentioned it earlier, but Techie, as a tech priest, you're free to choose from any of the published material out there in terms of advanced tier ranks and things like that, or you can continue being normal tech priest. Nothing prohibiting you there. For the Eldar, you guys will be getting. I'll be developing up some advanced options for you in the near future, so keep an eye out for that. At this stage, for the Seer, tier 3 will have the option of a. What did I say it was going to be? It was either going to be a Bone Singer or the specific ones who guide. I think it was going to be a Bone Singer, yeah. Tier 5 was going to be a Warlord, Warlock. Tier 7 was going to be, rank 7 was going to be Farseer. For the Aspect Warriors, Tier 3 was going to be an Exarch. Tier 5 was also going to be a Warlock, and Tier 7 was going to be an Autarch. So, for you guys at rank 5, that basically gives you a choice. So if you take rank 5 and become a Warlock, then you can start taking advances down the Seer path.
Yeah, you can actually switch into being a Farseer.
Yep.
And
Yes.
I honestly wouldn't have thought I'd be keen on the idea of a Bone Singer, but after kind of looking into it, I'm like, oh my god, I can be the biggest jerk.
But in any...
Or alternatively, just go, hey guys, give me a couple of weeks, I'll make a ship.
Oh, that's right. It was either going to be a Bone Singer or a Spirit Seer, so let me know which of those you prefer.
Ah, yep, radio.
Probably a Spirit Seer at this stage is probably what I'm going to be more looking into, as Bone Singer is technically non-canon.
I think the other issue is, I'll be honest, Bone Singer has the potential to completely ruin the game for everybody, because I could theoretically, given time, do whatever the hell I wanted.
Yeah, given time, just like has a high-level tech priest, given time, will build a Titan.
Techie, sort your shit out.
I'll make a Dreadnought first. Got to start small.
In any case, we'll reconvene in 2 weeks' time, so that will be the 30th of September. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions or anything like that. Otherwise, that is it for tonight.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, I might
Cheers
need
for
to.
that.